are going to be looking at ratio. Before we do, let's talk a little bit about simplifying. Very, very simple terms. Simplifying is saying the same thing but using smaller numbers in a mathematical sense. Apologies to take you back to year 7, but it's important that we understand what we mean by that. Let's go back to our pizzas. What we've got here is half a pizza. What we've got here is 2/4 of a pizza. We're saying the same thing. When we simplify, we take these numbers and we say the same thing using the smallest possible numbers. You will recall there's a process that I've taught you in order to do that. Let's have a look at 4/12. Now, if your times table knowledge is fantastic, you don't have to follow this process. I would recommend that you do if you're not confident. James Mitchell, Jamie Mackenzie, you can probably do this without following this process. But I would suggest you do anyway, because it will get us to the right solution. So I always tell you to start with the 2 times table, then we'll have a look at the 5 times table, and then the 3 times table. In most cases, this will work. Not in all cases, sometimes we'll have to use other times tables, but in most cases this will work. What we want to do is look at both of these numbers and see whether or not they are in the 2 times table. If they're not, we'll look at the 5s, then we'll look at the 3s. Now, 4 and 12 are both in the 2 times table. What we do to the top, we have to do to the bottom, so we're going to divide. We're going to say 4 divided by 2 gives us 2. No pressure here on my maths, but Mr. Mitchell's watching this, by the way. 12 divided by 2 gives us...
Six, Mr. Mitchell.
Why did I just say that then? Gives us 6. Okay, going well, isn't it? Okay, so we have simplified. Have we finished simplifying? We can go further. What we've now got is 2/6. Are they both in one of our times tables? Yes, they are. We can go again. 2 divided by 2 gives us 1. 6 divided by 2 gives us, Mr. Mitchell?
3, Mr. Mitchell.
Fantastic. Okay, we've gone as far as we can go. That's what simplifying looks like. Let's do another example, 6/30. Again, James, Jamie, you might be able to look at that and see a different times table, but we're going to follow our process. 2s, 5s, 3s. Are both of those numbers in our 2 times table? Yes, they are, because they're both even numbers. 6 divided by 2 will give us 3. 30 divided by 2, well, let's work it out. 2, 4, 6, 8, on and on and on. Use these. Will give us 15. Have we gone as far as we can go? Well, let's have a look. Are they both in the 2 times tables? No, they're not. Okay, so we can't use our 2s anymore. Are they both in our 5s? No, they're not. Are they both in our 3s? Yes, they are. So we can simplify further by using our 3 times table. 3, oh my goodness, sorry, making a mess of the board. 3/15. Remember, what we do to the top, we have to do to the bottom. We're dividing both by 3. And I'm going to leave you to answer that one. That's what simplifying looks like. But those aren't ratios, those are fractions. So your first real key bit of stickability here is what a ratio actually looks like. Because this is not what a ratio should look like. Okay? 4/12 as a ratio should be presented as 4.12. That is what a ratio actually looks like. And it's really important that you recognise that. Okay? In your GCSE, you might be asked to rewrite, in fact you will, in a simplification question you will be asked to rewrite that as a ratio, and it's really important that you understand and remember the format. But also it's important that when you see a question laid out like that, you're not freaked out, because we're very familiar with fractions. We've only looked at ratios for the first time this year. So this is what a ratio should look like. Right, okay, so what is ratio? Ratio is sharing out using a certain set of rules. I'm going to use the examples that we've used before in class. What we've got up here are a bunch of pink sweets. We've got Mr. Mitchell, we've got Rafe, and we are going to share out those sweets in what I believe to be a fair ratio. We're going to share them out in a ratio of 3 to 1. Okay? What that means is, for every 3 sweets that I get, Rafe is going to get 1. So what that looks like is, let's get our sweets up. 1, 2, 3 for me, and 1 for Rafe. 1, 2, 3 for me, and 1 for Rafe. That essentially is what sharing into a ratio actually means. But we are GCSE mathematicians. We need to find this in a way where we don't have to draw silly little pictures, but where we can speed it up a little bit because the numbers are going to be bigger. But again, it's important to understand that ratio is just sharing following a certain set of rules. So let's have a look at this. We want to share out 50 sweets. I'm going to keep referring to them as sweets to make it simpler, but obviously what we're essentially doing is sharing out a number. But I'm going to keep talking about sweets. We're sharing out 50 sweets in a ratio of 1 to 4. In order to do that, we want to follow a certain process because we do not want to be drawing dots and sharing out the way that we just did. So we're going to follow a certain set of rules, which I've written down here, okay? When I first talk through these, might not make a great deal of sense, but if we just kind of bring that to life by showing a couple of examples, then hopefully it will. So step 1, add together the number of shares. That's it. Oops, goodness me. Let's go back to this. That's this information here. These are the number of shares. We're going to add that together. So 4 plus 1 will give us 5. Step 2, divide the sweets by the number of shares. We have got, it's just like real life, isn't it? The bell is for my benefit, not yours. We have got 50 sweets, and we're going to divide it by the number of shares. Essentially, we have got 50 divided by 5, which gives us, Mr. Mitchell?
10.
I just don't see why all the pressure should be on me. Okay, which gives us 10. So that means that each share is worth 10. The final step is to share into the ratio. So our ratio is 1 to 4. So each share is worth 10. So one lot of 10, 1 times 10, means this person's going to get 10 sweets. 4 lots of 10 means this person is going to get 40 sweets. Okay, let's do another example. Looks slightly tricky, but the process is exactly the same. We've got 49 sweets that we're sharing out. Let's follow the process. Add together the number of shares. That's this bit. So 4 plus 2 plus 1 will give us 7. Second step, divide the sweets by the number of shares. Well, 49 divided by 7 will give us 7. That means that each share is worth 7. The final step, share them out into the ratio. This person's going to get 4 lots of 7. This person's going to get 2 lots of 7. This person's going to get 1 lot of 7. Okay? 4 lots of 7, Mr. Mitchell, no? It's actually 28. 2 lots of 7 will give us 14. 1 lot of 7 will give us 7. Okay? And that's how we share into a ratio. So there's been a number of things that we've gone through actually. Firstly, simplifying, which you will remember anyway from doing fractions. The second really important bit is recognising what a ratio actually looks like, because it's different to what a fraction would look like. And then the third most mathsy bit is sharing into a ratio. If we can recall those key things, we will be able to smash most of the ratio questions on our GCSE. What we're going to do, I'm going to leave something on the board. If any of that didn't make sense, please do go back and watch again. Please do then come and see either myself or Mr. Mitchell or Miss Ball or Miss Tia, and we can help talk it through. Next Thursday, after you've watched this, I think Mr. Mitchell will release this maybe on Monday. Next Thursday, we are going to go through some GCSE ratio questions. Not a problem if you haven't watched this. If you haven't watched it, you won't know anyway, but it will give you a head start. Okay? I'm going to leave you with the 3 steps. Okay? As I say, if you're not sure, watch again and get on with it.